All of reality is merely the thought in the mind of God. All reality is really one long dream, with all material things being nothing but ephemeral thoughts in the mind of God, emanating from Source. Why is it that objective reality does not vanish when we have switched our individual attention elsewhere? And what I'm talking about is in quantum physics. It has been proven over and over again that the mere presence of an observer will alter the outcomes of an experiment. When we divide up matter into the smallest possible chunks that it's made of, into the stuff that can be divided or split no further, those indivisible units of measurement or things we arrive at are known as quanta. And that's why Einstein called this like spooky science, because he had no explanation for it. His Newtonian physics could not account for the very reality of what quantum physics was demonstrating, that it was simply uncontrollable due to the mere presence of an observer, changing all of the controllable variables. There was no control due to the mere presence of somebody observing the experiment. So, I mean, the outcome of an experiment depends on how you look at the individual quanta that are part of the experiment. I mean, if you make certain classes of measurements and observations, they behave like particles. If you make other choices, they behave like waves. Like whether and how you observe your own experiment really does change the outcome. And what was known as the double slit experiment is the perfect demonstration of that. So it has scientifically been demonstrated that our individual attention, observation, creates our reality, or at least at the very minimal explanation, impacts or changes the quantum, the Akash, the energetic grid, our reality, our individual reality. So how is it that the objective world does not vanish when we switch our individual attention elsewhere? Because the objective world exists permanently in the mind of God. If that is not proof for Source, for God, then my most dear and esteemed viewer, just put a thumbs down on this video if you disagree, but I'm offering you the proof that our world exists permanently in the mind of God. That's the only way that all of this can exist. Well, unless you take into account the Anunnaki frequency fence, the digital matrix, that artificial reality. But that's a pale approximation of the true divine matrix. We're not talking about the digital fake matrix, but the divine matrix. Since God can perceive all things all the time, that is why our divine reality does not vanish. I mean, imagine if every night we returned to exactly the same dream world. This would imply that some other mind had constructed it and was continuously contemplating it and keeping it going. In fact, our own unconscious creates our dream world and continuously changes changes it as its unconscious thoughts switch to new things. Our conscious mind experiences what our unconscious mind has built. We all exist inside God's mind and interact with the world, the thought of the world, to be more exact, created by God. But God, His divine thought, His divine matrix, becomes interfered with when we create this collective mind, these egregores of thought that are corrupted by the digital matrix, but which is essentially the collection of all individual, sovereign, human, monadic minds. So this is just a thought, but it was the thought experiment. If you really look into this quantum physics and really look at all of this vast amount of information that shows that the mere presence and observation of an individual container of consciousness, which is what we all are, fragments of source within a genetic vehicle. Yeah, I'll go with that. But there, I have proven that God exists.
Namaste. Namaskaram.